Okay, Kiki, we might have to get started because it's already 5 minutes past the hour. So R will come when R comes. So first card that I'm going to open up is on Vidi Slack. This is B000. So this is a bigger tutorial. And what Vidi
Hmm.
is that he will add bigger introduction that overviews the sign-up process, roles, and features, and he will attach a YouTube video. Okay, so I'm opening up the attachment now to look at to see what's on the content of the card, and it's a screenshot. Okay, all right, interesting. I have a screenshot, and oh, welcome! Thank you very much, Ara, for attending. So then I'm taking a look at the evidence. I don't see the video yet, so I'm searching for the video right now on
Hmm.
card. I'm opening up his Dropbox paper and looking at the evidence card. Okay, while I open that, I will continue with the next card. So we'll come back to video when the computer finishes loading. Um, let's go over next to Kiky. Kiky, you have E1.1. This is dating sessions and one-on-ones on Slack. All right, cool. So that last session
Yeah.
finished today, yes?
So my recent update. Yeah, my recent update for this is it's already done, but there are some important notes from me. You can see in my comment section. It's a long comment. So yeah, just for further consideration, if you want to continue this in the future.
Okay,
So
yes.
yeah.
I think you should continue it, Kiki. So what I suggest, you can make this into a pivot card now, and whatever you've learned from this first pivot, you can apply to the next pivot. So I think you
Mm.
said that sometimes moderated one-on-ones are helpful. Tell me more about that. What happened there?
Oh yeah. So um it's safe to say that Rizal and Bayou dating are the only date that I moderate. Yeah, just like what I have mentioned, moderate from the beginning until the end. I usually just introduce in the beginning and I kind of leave the conversation in the middle
Okay,
because I think that it's dating that's supposed to be two people, right?
right.
But actually, it's more effective if I moderate or leading the date.
Got it.
So yeah, that's the best method for me personally.
Got it. All right. And did you notice something that, let's say, between Bayer and Rizal that could you detect that they needed moderation? How did you detect that they needed moderation?
Because these two people, they are the ones who I hardly contact.
I see. Okay.
It's hard to contact them really because yeah, they claim they are busy and I understand that. Although I say that it's just a 15 minutes dance and but yeah, so I kind of think that, oh, I need to moderate them.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
So let me see. Wait, nine times. What's 9 times 17? 153. All right. So you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 of these dates. The total
Hmm.
number of possibilities actually in our company. Do you guys want to know how many possibilities there are?
Ah,
How many
it's
how many
probably.
pairings are there?
How many?
Mm,
How many possible dates can you have at Bukit Vista?
Within
I
this
don't.
month, divided to two, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm. I think one person can have two dates in a month or probably three. I don't know.
Okay.
What's that?
There's 306 unique combinations of people, right? Oh wait, actually, I think it's around 300. Yeah, should be 18 times 17. So there's about 300 different unique combinations that you can have of two people dates. So there's still quite a lot you can do, and there's still a lot of networks that you can still happen. So in this particular regard, Kiki, I think you can keep on trying. Right, do your next set, and see if there's a benefit, then by all means continue. If there's no benefit, then stop. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? All right. But you
Okay.
can take some of what you've learned to help other people with dates as well.
Okay then.
Okay? All right. So I would say this. Do you feel like this was successful?
I personally feel it's successful.
Okay.
So you ask me or Ara?
Over to you, actually. You decide whether your projects have impact.
I consider it is I consider it is successful actually, but it's successful in the end of the day.
Okay.
I mean like the reason list.
Good. I would tend to agree. I think this idea of one-on-ones, if no matter what, I think it's something that is good. It helps people get to know each other in the company, and it stops, I think, people from forming cliques, which is very unhealthy. You don't want to have, let's say, all the people in one group hang out. Okay, over to Ara.
Yep.
Okay, so I gather some feedback for my personal one-on-one with everyone.
Mhm.
There are actually some lack of this dating session. So, one I got feedback that the arrangement of the dating should be more diverse because like Diba get Keisha,
Uh,
we know each other, they see each other very.
interdepartment, right? Most likely like that, or
It should be like me and Lilis or you and so it has to be like diverse, like not the same person in the chapter because they
yeah.
really see each other.
Interchapter, I mean. Yeah, got it.
Okay.
So
Okay. Thank you for the feedback.
yeah, also another feedback is having apa ya? They don't get the instruction very clearly. So
Ah.
some are saying that I'm not sure what exactly that we're supposed to talk, and then I said it's because it could be anything. We didn't talk about anything. And then they're like, oh, because we didn't get it. I thought we were supposed to talk about a specific thing. So maybe the instruction needs to be delivered clear.
Yeah, I agree with you. That is why in the end I initiate to choose myself as a moderator or like a cupid. So I let the date from the beginning until the end, and that's the best method for me personally because all the instruction is clear. I moderate the date. Yeah, for me personally, that's the best method.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you for that feedback, Ara. I wouldn't necessarily. I have some another perspective. I would say. I think Tina and Kezia could actually date, in the sense that they are not necessarily going like Ara and I, right? We're in the same chapter, but how often do we talk, Ara? Right? How often, Kiky, do we talk about things not related to work? I think that is okay in a way because so many of our engagements are work engagements, and it's nice sometimes just to say, "So, how's your family? What's your favorite ice cream?" Like fun stuff like that.
In that case, maybe because the instruction is not clear, so they think they got paired in the terms of working related still, so they're having.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe in that sense.
Okay. So let's refine this, Kiky. I think what you can do is you can pivot. So make this into a template, do a new set of people, and pivot it. I think this is a good culture. There's not many drawbacks to it. It's not very hard to do, and it definitely encourages more like being able to see a person as a person rather than just as a colleague. So I think dates should be fun. I had one with Alvin a long time ago, and I got to know a lot about Alvin that I was surprised I didn't know at all about him, even though he had been here for almost a year. So there's things that I think are always more revealing if we do actually have that engagement. Okay, Kiki, I'll leave it to you. I would suggest that you can pivot this and take the suggestions that you've heard from Ara, me, and yourself, and decide how you want to continue. Pick a new set of targets, or pick a new set of partners, and keep this going. I think that this is good. Okay, great. Let's go on to the next card. So next card is update on national UR. So this is A1.1. Over to Kiki for your update.
Oh yeah. So wait. for my recent UR updates, uh, I target unair specifically for this list. So Pak Agi from unair, the one who goes back to ARA, didn't reply our message regarding when and what channel they will publish our intern program. But although he said he will publish our intern program, I kind of have a backup plan. I already sent an email to unair career organization. It's university level, not faculty levels. So uh, yeah, to publish our internship program.
Okay.
I already contacted them on Instagram, and they said they will check my email. So I hope I will get a positive feedback as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Quick follow up on this card, Kiky. Which you have on your you have on your intended outcome, close internship partner with Visit. Is Visit part of unair or is it something else?
Oh my God! I think it's yeah, it's unair. It's unair.
Okay, so this is
Thank you for
only for unair. Is that correct?
yeah, for this specific card, it's from unair because the last card I finished with computer science UI, ITB, and then
Okay.
yeah, right. So I just want to make it specific, so so it's clear.
Got it. Okay, understood. Let's continue then. Do you plan on approaching any other national universities, Kiky?
Yeah. Actually, I want to approach ITS.
Okay, great. Okay.
After this.
Okay, and you can create a new pivot card for ETS as well. Okay,
Okay then.
using
Oh,
this as a template.
oh yeah, got it.
Excellent. Next, let's move to networking with lecturers, HRA 1.4.
And for networking with lecturers, as you can see, now I just find more LinkedIn connection to broaden our opportunities during this Idul Fitri season. I don't know whether it's still Idul Fitri season or not because I kind of search in Google rector's agreement or something like that, and I didn't find any specific announcement about Idul Fitri
Okay.
season in certain university. Maybe I will check more on that, so
Okay.
it will be more clear. But now I also waiting for computer science to finish their exam session so we can start our postponed online class.
Okay.
Yeah, just that's my particular update for this.
Okay.
And also for UR Global, it's kind of long, as you can see in my comments. So yeah, and Nanyang Technological University already respond our email, and it's already sent to NTU's career center or something like that, and it's being considered. And also I kind of contact SMU, Health Contacted and Health in Progress, but I found that SMU has certain requirements
Very
for
good.
companies partner to internship
Very good.
or job hiring. Maybe you can check. There are 6 lists,
Okay.
and maybe we can discuss whether we are required or not. And I think it's great because if we required, then we can post by ourselves in their career page. That means we have full controls over
Yes.
what we can post, what we cannot post.
Excellent. Okay. Um, Kiki, I will get you
Yep.
number 1 on the list. 2 to 6, I think you can get from Ara. Okay.
Oh, okay. I
All
will
right.
ask.
Okay. Do you see the card right now? Documentation and company registration. I think we have that somewhere, right? We've had that on an old all hands, in fact. So that's already there. I'll just look for it and attach it to this card so Kiki gets it. And then company information, nature of business, and website. That one is easy. You can just
Yeah.
get that from the website.
Yeah.
Email address that matches the company's website. That's easy. Careers at Bukit Vista Bali. Okay. Public domain email addresses not permitted, like our at Gmail are not permitted. We do that because we are cheap and we don't want to pay for Google accounts at, I think, $3 a month. Okay, and then address of business operations. Okay, that's here. And in Jogja, you can just take the Bali base address on Google Maps
Yeah.
and put it in. 5, job description and relevant duties. Okay, that's the same that we have on the university proposal. Supervisor's full name, designation, corporate email address. Jingcho Yan, careers at Bukit Vista Bali. Okay, and CEO.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, okay.
good, got it.
Okay then.
All right, next
Uh,
to pivot on university incubators.
so yeah, I tried to phone calling Orange Unpad and UI Incubator, but they didn't pick up their office phone.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I kind of have a backup plan here. I tried to message Orange Unpad through Instagram, and I will probably searching for their LinkedIn or something.
Nice. Okay, very good. Thank you for that. And then next one to webinar with unpan.
Oh yeah, so for webinar with Unpad, there's no particular update because, as I said yesterday, well, we will wait until 8 June
Okay.
due to their exam sessions. So
Okay.
yeah, there's no particular. Oh, but I like to mention something. There's no in my card, but our postponed sharing session with SBM ITB,
Mhm.
if you remember, they
Yeah.
asked about what's possible date. Are we available? I don't know, between 6 or 12
Yes. Yeah.
June.
Yeah, we're available. Yeah, I'll schedule. If we're available for professional networking, we're definitely available for like a webinar. Yes.
Okay, then I will schedule the webinar with them, right?
Yes.
And they probably invite other speakers, like I don't know, business expertise or something like that. So
Good.
yeah,
Good.
or
Community. Okay. Good.
yeah, the theme will be how can hospitality industry be creative in pandemic era.
Okay.
So they're okay with
Excellent. Excellent. That sounds like a good follow up. Okay.
Ken. So I will contact the SBM ITB for that, right?
All right.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kiky. Actually, if I may give you some feedback, I think you're doing good. I think we're seeing improvement. There's a few small things like perhaps having the designator correct codes on each card that I noticed is not there for UR Global and also not there for the webinar at student organization. That part I think can be improved. That's just a small, more of an administrative thing. But what I've noticed is that I think you have a better understanding and clearer thought process of what you're doing now. And also, I like that you are thinking about what Plan B is, like such that when you call and you don't get a phone response, then you try something else, and that is positive. That is how you hustle and make things happen. Points of improvement, of course, the naming is right, and I think this. Don't make assumptions, right? You're assuming right now that it's still Edo Fitri, whatever, but it's probably not, as RS stated, and I think it's not either. I think everyone should be back to school by now. But it doesn't really change anything if it's Edo Fitri, right? What can you do to reach the person, right? Think about how you pivot to actually reach a person rather than, oh, everything's closed, there's nothing to do. So be a little bit more astute, I think, and if you make an assumption, be sure that the assumption is right, and guess why it's interfering with you. But improvements. One more thing, also, ladies, let me show you something. I don't know if you both are aware, but I learned this actually from Vidi, and I want to make sure you guys all know it because sometimes I see that it's not happening. So what I'm going to do now is I'll share my screen, and it's the same board as we see. But did you guys know that if you click here, let's say Kiky, right? If you want to make a new card, you can click here, and there's templates right here, right? So you can pick a template and then click on it,
Oh,
and it will create a new template. So you don't need to repeat each thing, right? It bingo, right? Like you can just do this, and all the fields are already created for you. I noticed, I think Kiky, on your side, you creating cards from scratch, and that's why you have this formatting issue, right? The formatting is not done correctly. So if you do it the other way, the automatically way, just by clicking here and picking what template card you want to copy, then it's much faster. Okay? Got it? Okay. All right. That's Kiky into R2 as well. That will save you lots of time. Hopefully. Okay, so I'll delete that. And then let me go back to the old board again. All right. Right. Ah, what have I done? What have I done? HR, Trello. Okay, next to me. Thank you very much. So, culture of giving leadership feedback is strong. I've done it every day with everyone, and it's actually a very good program because now we're able to evolve leadership. So now, like we did with Ara on her last one, when we have, let's say, new leadership goals, we're able to discuss about what those goals are as a group and keep the leader accountable for those particular goals too as well, which is really good. So this is ongoing, and we're probably gonna stop this on June 6th. The description is gone. You're right. What happened? You got replaced with J. I don't know what happened. Okay, so you're right. I'll need to go back and fix that somehow. All right, I'll fix that later. Thank you, Ara, for pointing that out, but the description did disappear. The intention of this is so that we can develop faster leadership culture through peer-to-peer feedback. All right, next one is pivots, reusing templates on Trello cards. I've been actually, thank you. This has actually been, I've been coaching during discussion sessions how to use this format. Okay, so this has been going out there, and yeah, we just did it right now, actually, coaching on how to use the existing templates. I did it today with HR, not revenue management, marketing, and community. Okay, orientation video is good. So, great, excellent. So what I've been doing with Faris is every time we have a session, we will sit together and we'll record the session. Faris will then write a description, summary, and a title for it. And then this becomes training material that Ara can use in the future for training future employees. So these material can be integrated into future schedules. And I've asked Faris actually just to put it in his own schedule. And Ara, in the future, you can just copy Faris' schedule, and that will apply to any new intern. Okay? So that part is developing along, and we will have more video training opportunities with Faris and more orientation videos being produced. This one is, okay, this one I've delegated to Nadine. Nadine's agreed to follow up. So I've contacted this list of people who have been doing HR on behalf of Airbnb. They were on the layoff list. So what we're hoping to learn from this group of people is how to conduct employee surveys, how to onboard and train new candidates faster. So that's ongoing. And then the next one is building an ESS, and that's related to the previous one of networking with professionals. And this idea is to create a better ESS. Okay, and the evidence is over there. There's no updates on this particular card. Right, let's go over to Ara. Ara, all right, let's take a look at your initiative. You have an HR lunch initiative, so let's begin.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so before we go to that card, I would like to ask about the orientation video training with Faris. Do you have like specific paper for this?
This is the paper, actually. So this particular, do I have a paper for this? I do, actually, I do, and it's more of a journal that I'm writing in a discussion with Faris. So that material, I guess, can be used in conjunction with the videos, but the videos should be self-contained, meaning that you should just watch the videos and you'll understand what's going on. So in terms of my video organization right now, I don't have a paper to coordinate it. I want to have one so that I can be a little bit more like Chandra. and have like a script and such. But currently, I don't have that structure yet. But I should. Thank you for bringing that up.
Okay. I asking that why because I will have two other new interns to onboard it next week.
Nice.
One is for revenue management. It's already passed through Vidi,
Okay.
and then the other one is for internal tools already passed by you.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's gonna get busy here again. Yeah. For instructor
Yeah.
video training for new hires and interns, and I will coordinate this. Coordinate. Okay. Sorry. Coordinate. Coordinate via paper. Okay. Done.
Okay, so for my first tag for lunch hour, as I already put there, so so far from now today they already tried the new meetings, which is actually at 11 Wita.
Mhm.
But as you stated, it's the same meetings with DM, right?
Mhm.
I've already discussed, and yeah, actually the concern if they move it to 10, it's gonna be the same with all hands.
Okay.
So and you already said that they can actually skip the meeting for Tuesday because have the same meeting time. So I will talk to Rafiq most likely later
Okay.
about that. Like they can actually skip the meeting on Tuesday.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
I think it's important also for the structural side of the mission of leadership. So the mission of leadership is so that anybody should be able to go to any chapter, either marketing to HAR, HAR to marketing to express an idea. And between these two chapters, there should be a lot of people going backwards and forwards. So if they're all meeting at the same time, then that will never happen, which would be unfortunate. So I think we need to, just kind of create a little bit of space so that
Also, sir, this is a little bit out of topics, but I would like to hear your perspective. What do you think about people in BV on working early in the morning?
I think very good discussion. Okay. Maybe that should be a discussion. Let's,
Right.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Secretary, which is Kiky, your secretary. Yeah. Let's create a opportunity for a discussion after this. So in the HR discussion, let's talk about early morning work hours. Okay.
Okay.
Next to our again.
So next card is about hiring good interns.
Yes.
Yesterday we got two new entries.
Nice.
One is none of ITB students, but one is from ITB and one is from India.
Nice.
So yeah, so he's still a student. So yeah, we'll have interview tomorrow. And then for today we have 0 new entry.
Okay.
Today's interview is one. It's actually late, not no show, but late.
Okay.
And then human resource.
Okay.
And I'm still doing the assessment. Okay. Also for the updates for the onboarding, as I stated earlier, there will be on Thursday, 11th of June, for 6 days on-site trials again.
Nice.
Line trials,
Okay.
which is for revenue management and IELTS Zayan for internal tools.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Very good.
And then for one-on-one meeting, yesterday I have with Diba, today with Keisha, and tomorrow will be with Wayana.
Okay. Nice.
The summarizes I already, I already constructed, so I will submit it to you, sir. We have to have discussed actually about the one-on-one summary.
Yes.
So for 5. Okay.
Sounds good. Okay. Excellent.
And then for happy hour, I think for this one it's already done, so I can move it to done actually.
Okay, great. Do you want to make a template from this particular event?
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll ask for also feedback for happy hour. Yes, sir. Like, is it still needs to be done or how?
I think so, Ara. I mean, happy hour is essentially a way to socialize now that I think it's almost very essential because we've already removed Skillshare and there are no further social activities at the company if we remove happy hour. So I think people rather enjoy it. In fact, I enjoy it. It seems like the people who come enjoy it. So not everybody will be able to make every happy hour, and that's normal. But I think the fact that there's still a pretty good attendance indicates that people like it. So I would continue this.
Okay. Okay, and then last update for this card is basically about the assessment, sir. So for I've already attached the paper about the trial assessment that you
Nice.
already commented to.
Yes.
So I think I'd like to have further discussion about this. So maybe Mrs. Secretary, would you please have also about the discussion today about onboarding assessment?
All right. Very good. And
Okay,
Mr. Secretary, let's also create we need a marker, meet temp, on this card so that we remember to evaluate the discussion. Quickly to Ara, what is the intended result of this discussion?
For the onboarding,
Yes.
it's actually for having the correct metrics for the paper to be rolled out in the team.
Understood. Okay, so we will essentially approve the. It's for an approval process basically, and making sure that the structure is correct. Okay, got it. Let's see. Kiky, you'll need to be writing on this card right now as secretary so that we have a meeting marker on this particular card, HRJ 1.0, so that we don't forget. Okay, thank you very much. Let's, while Kiki's writing that, okay, that's good. I'll go ahead and select the next chair so that we don't forget about that. So next chair will be Kiky. Next secretary will be Ara, and Jing will record again. Unless, Ara, do you want to record?
Sure.
Do you have access to Bukit Vista, by the way, to the YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So let Ara try recording tomorrow, or sorry, on Wednesday, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, great. So we got that set up. The next step is to move into discussions. So I will stop sharing this screen, and then I will reshare my other screen, and we can talk about things like early morning work hours and such. All right, so let's go into this HR. This, I don't have it. That's morning. Okay, so we'll go over here. I need to get a shave. I look very horny. Okay, so oh, by the way, Ara, do you use Calendly to help schedule your meetings with
Yes.
the interns? Okay, great. It's so great. It's the best thing in the world. All right.
I've always used that, sir.
Just double checking. Sometimes from 3 to 4, I think we've gained or lose certain practices. I just wanted to, to make sure we're on the same practice still. All right. So let's see. Kiky. Kiky. We have not put the discussion topic yet. So the first discussion topic is actually, let's see. This is from Ara, and it's around hours.
Early morning work hours and onboarding trial.
Okay.
Discussion.
Great. Let's go ahead and talk about early morning hours first. All right, Ara, begin.
Okay. So basically, I was about to ask Agassi, like, how do you guys think about the culture itself of having a morning meetings or things like that?
Okay, let's go to Kiky first for input and thoughts.
For the first thing, I think that we need to set what the exact I mean how long we need to work. For example, it's is it 8 hours or 7 hours? Or...
8 to 5.
Oh yes, yeah. And then if we need to have such a early meeting in the morning, then it should contain the work hours actually. If you ask my personal opinion.
Exactly right, but the cases right now is people of morning meetings. For me myself, I don't understand why. Like, it's already working hours, but people make some excuses on actually. For example, let's say that I asked them to move to 9 a.m. in the morning, and they're like, people voting for no. They said the reason was because they need to update their card for apa. That's not.
No.
I think that's not acceptable reason, and I find it really weird. Like, we used to, like the HR meeting was always be in the morning, and you see like no one in the office. So I think it truly is not because of updating the card. You can update the card like before, and it doesn't take that long if you really pay attention to updating daily.
Okay.
So that's like the reasons, and like they don't want to move it at 9 because it's too early in the terms.
No, that's not right. That's every chapter except HAR can start a little bit later, but HAR should be I mean, how many of our guests are awake at night? I think at least 50%, right? Probably more than 50%. So is it ridiculous or not that we're not awake when our guests are awake, right? Would you expect a good host that, like in my best hosting days, the best work is done in the morning, right? Nobody needs you at all after they've already made their plans on what to do. They usually come in the morning, they wake up. Most guests will wake up around 8 or 9. You know, they're here on holiday. They're paying like $300 a day to be here with their flights and everything included. So they're generally going to plan early in the morning, like what they're going to do. This is when I think our teams need to be the most alert and not the most asleep. And that's an easy 5-star review right there. Yeah, you can show up at 12 or 1 or whatever, but then your whole day is fucked, right? Because now you got more work. You got, and you know, so HAR needs to manage their time differently, I think, than everyone else. They are more fixed hours, but the result, like there's going to be teams in the future that are more project based, and those are more like fixed deadlines, right? This needs to be delivered by a certain date. But operations is always should be you're available at a certain hour. Like you don't go to a restaurant and have to wake up the chef and say, "Hey, can you wake up and cook me some steak and eggs or something?" That would be ridiculous, right? So I think for operations, because HAR does intend to work in operations in the future, they need to start the earliest. And sure, after a certain time, they can go home like regular people. But these hours are the least flexible. I think that was a problem that we had in the earlier days. That we didn't realize that we said flexible work hours for everybody, but that doesn't actually make any sense. People who work closely with guests should work with guests according to the guest hours, not according to whatever like their own sleep habits or such. So yes, I think certain chapters can have more flexible hours. Let's say content or whatever, but or internal tools, but they have fixed deadlines. Content never messes around with the delivery date. They're always on time. HAR should be the same, but for the guest experience. So don't compare each other with each other, but compare it to like who you're serving, right? So if you're serving HAR, then you need to deliver at the time that HR expects it to be delivered. But if you're serving guests, you need to work according to what guests prefer to do.
I think that culture you need to say again, sir, to them. I mean,
I know.
it's crucial since they're in HAR, right? And then I know it's part of the reason only. I'm sorry, I'm being cynical, but I know that it's part of the reason just to update the card. So it most likely because they don't want to have like morning meetings, which is it's not supposed to be that way. I mean, if your work hours really started at 8 waktu Indonesia Barat, like in Jogja time, then what's the problem of having meeting at 8? It's already your working time, right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. The real reason is that people watch movies and they stay on social media and they play around until 2 a.m. and then they can't wake up.
I get irritated by that reason. So
It's pretty normal, Ara. I think most young people stay up pretty late, and most older people wake up pretty early. I'm getting old now. I'm waking up earlier, right, Ben? Yeah. So it just happens to be an age thing. But I think in this particular dimension, we cannot tolerate, let's say, that's just bad. Let's say we started HAR at 12, right? Would that actually be very helpful for guests? No, right? Like that's what guests need you. They need you in the morning. They need you to arrange drivers. They need you to arrange all this stuff. They need your help finding like directions. They need help finding to check in. In fact, it should start even earlier, to be honest. It should start maybe at 7 and go until like whatever, because that when you start, let's say, even earlier, then you're always ready, right? You're not like kind of always urgent and important. You have some time to plan things out. So definitely not for HAR. No, they should not start. They should start early and end early. I think that should be the fixed idea. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's my thoughts. Sorry, I can't write anything right now. My computer is fried. But let's go on to the next part, which is online assessment trials. So let's see. That involves just okay. Let's make sure we have the right audience for that. So Kiky, do you want to stay for this one, Kiky, for the online assessment trials? Actually, yeah, stay. You can see if this works in your particular case. This is for future interns. So essentially, after their 6-day trial, we will use this as a assessment fabric for how they did. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and begin the discussion. What would you like to know?
Okay, so can you scroll down? Okay, so this one that you made right, sir, and then I already put a comment that, okay, this is good. I just need an opinion whether is it still applicable and how are we going to relate it to the probation milestone. You can open the paper of probation milestone. So this is like before BB 4.0. I have this project with Cynthia and Dominic actually to make
Right.
each month. So it can be applied actually for host, online guest support, and any other chapters. But so far they finished already is online guest support.
Okay.
So I will start to do it again by this month OKR, then OKR for making it for other chapters.
Got it.
So in this one, you can actually assess people more clearly about what needs to be fulfilled for continue the internship or to dismiss them during the with this benchmark. So you see, like first month for online guest support will be like whether this person have a growth mindset based action. If all the things are take, then okay, you can continue the internships program.
Nice. Okay, I think
If
that's
it's
pretty.
like that,
Oh yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay, all right, that's good. That's well adapted um, for online guest support. Okay.
But this one is for the probation, right, sir? So my discussion for today is basically for the 6 days trials for the on-site trial. So yeah, how exactly shall we have the assessment? Is it like the same or
It
just
can't be
like
the same, right? It can't be the same because they would not be able to get that much experience and proficiency in 6 months as opposed to 6 days. I think I think you can assess these things pretty quickly, right? You can assess whether or not this person really adheres to core values, really adheres strongly to the role. Do they own their training? Do they seek guidance and mentorship? Do they own their personal development? So it's definitely easier to train people who say, "Hey, look, I'm going to be involved in my own development," rather than you have to take care of me because I'm a victim, right? I'm an actor. I'm just a piece of wood that drifts in the ocean. You need to bring me to where you need to go. So I think that is definitely the first characteristic, right? Does this person actually think and act like a leader would? If they don't, then it becomes really difficult for anything else to happen. So then the second part is performance, leadership performance. Are they good at discovering, prioritizing, problem solving, or executing? Right? And just think about that holistically. Did they actually show? Did they discover anything? Like, did they go, "Oh, hey, you were doing this wrong, and you should do this better," or "Oh, hey, there's an opportunity to do this. Have you thought about that?" That I think can be measured or not right away. Project performance is the same. If they were involved in a project, how did they do? Did they discover anything? Did they prioritize correctly? Did they problem solve? Were they executing correctly? So that goes into, like, I guess, an overall score there. And these are essentially comments, right? That you have space for. You can have space for. You have a good discovery process. You're able to find things, but maybe you don't execute very well because you don't follow up. So all this is just feedback. I think, and overall, we should be pretty much looking. I think the most important score is the first score. Are they leadership involved? Are they coachable? And then the performance of other ones should essentially see improvement month over month. The greatest part about this art is I think it teaches the people who score this how to also look for these attributes in themselves as well. So then it becomes self-reflection too. Do I have this? Right? Am I good at discovering things? So that is I like both. I think this can be used as, let's say, a check for after training, right?
yeah.
So this can be saying, okay, does this person actually pass all the necessary things? And then it might be easier also, because these are all kind of difficult to evaluate. The easiest way to evaluate is to look at the score on Airbnb. Let's say, for example, handle inquiries on Airbnb, right? We assign you a profile. How did that profile do before, and how did it do after you started being in charge of it? If it did really well before and it did shit after, then, you know, if I do a random sampling, if I pick out 5 inquiries, will these 5 inquiries be perfectly done, or will they go into the zoo for problems, right? That then becomes a very quick test that doesn't take a lot of time or effort or calculation on the tester, but it requires the correct performance on the person that's performing. So it becomes a little bit more less abstract and more concrete, if we can create tests, Ara, like to understanding requests and send money. Let's go and take a look at one of your requests and see if you handle it correctly. Let's take a look at your overbooking and let's see if you handle this correctly, right? So then it's all evidence based rather than being like I feel like this person did okay, I think, but I wasn't really watching, you know. So then almost like a mini promotion review, but all based on evidence, and it's easy because you just have to go and randomly sample a few inquiries from their inbox. And that should be easy because they would have put their name on all the inquiries that they handled, right? And then you could find if they've been doing this correctly. Okay?
So the evidence will be attached by the candidate, sir.
I think no. I think the problem with the evidence being attached by the candidate, Ara, is that there is a problem with that. And the candidate will always attach the evidence that favors them the most, right? And not the ones that are. So I think it should be randomly sampled. It should be randomly sampled just based on, whatever, right? Because imagine this. Imagine you have a promotion review. So then you do good one time, right? And then you bring that evidence over to your promotion review and say, look, I'm doing great. No, maybe the other 99 times you were doing shitty, right? And you just did it once because you wanted to pass a promotion review. So I noticed that was a problem. That was kind of a hack that we had before. So it's better. And we learned this from, wait, were you here with the Muhammad discussion?
Muhammad who?
Muhammad Uber Cairo.
No.
He told us to use that method. He said when you evaluate people on their skills, what you do is you need to monitor everybody, unfortunately. He said that you need to take, let's say, 100 inquiries, and then you select 5. If you're their leader, you take 5, and you look at the quality of those inquiries. Are those according to what the standard should be? And for people who are underperforming, you need to sample more. You need to sample like 7 or 10 and give them feedback so that they see it. But the feedback cannot be brought by them because then the system can be hacked, right? The system can be whatever. So I think part of it is that the evaluator will randomly sample and they'll randomly look at, do you actually have the correct results at the end of the day? And even timely attendance, I think, can be actually pretty simple. Timely attendance, you can just look for a past video and see, did you actually show up in the video? If you didn't show up, then, then was it on your calendar? If it wasn't on your calendar, then we know that you don't make good attendance. So every certification, I think, must be testable. It must be measurable, meaning we can go back and we can find a way, did this person actually do this by random? And then that will create the correct culture. Sound good?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. And then,
We'll recommend this.
okay.
Second.
Great. Fantastic. So
Also for the paper, the 6 days trial program, I can roll out for Faris. I start to roll out for content people. The previous paper.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can use this. Yeah. Let's use this to see how it goes, right? See if everyone agrees that this is going okay. But I've realized something too as well, which is I'm coaching the content team. All right, let's call them the marketing team now. They've officially changed their title. I'm calling the marketing team. I'm coaching them on how to do more advanced leadership, just like with you last week. So your leadership capabilities, I would say it's a 5 in the basic, right? So you got all the basic skills mastered already. I think you're better than me, and I'm proud to say that you're better than me. You announce these things. You keep the thing more focused. But now we're ready for the next level. So the next level for marketing is essentially how to train and onboard and keep people accountable without losing speed. So yeah, you can train people by like having this person hog up your entire day, right? But that's not very effective. We want to have that culture of assume your question has been answered already. So how do we put study material in front of a candidate? How do we make sure that they can learn on their own? We're not going to, excuse the expression, we're not going to hold your hand and breastfeed you the whole way. But you're going to figure out how to find your own food. We'll keep a refrigerator there so that if you need to find any food, you can find it, right? And you'll need to know we'll tell you what you need to eat. But you're going to have to go and figure it out yourself. So the idea, I think, is that okay, this is how it relates back to this. I don't know if the marketing team is at a capability where they are doing this right yet. Are they doing remote leadership correctly yet? You know what I'm saying? So in that particular dimension, it should be, I don't know, it might need some time to see that change. Let them have a look at this and evaluate it, but I will give essentially the team a bit of a lower weight on their evaluation at this point, because I don't know if they are actually proficient at this yet. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay.
So who's the assessor? Who's the committee then? I can send
just go ahead and put everybody in, but this will be practice committee. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We need to have people get started because we need to evaluate how they evaluate. Does that make sense? So before you become a wine judge, another wine judge will judge if you are judging the wine correctly. So we need to see what they think and then determine if they can do it right. Okay. Do you know what the trick is to a wine judge? How do you know if a wine judge is actually just good or are they full of shit?
No.
Okay, Kiky, do you know how to? Okay, let's say for example, there's a person who pretends to be a wine judge, right? They can say all kinds of stupid shit about your wine. They can say your wine is great or bad. It's just their opinion. But how do you objectively tell if they're any good? How do you evaluate if a wine judge is any good at their job?
I believe they have certain standards. Not subjectively standard, but objective standards, like, I don't know, the acidity, probably.
But acidity is very subjective too, right? You might taste acidity different from the way I taste acidity, might be different from the way Ara tastes acidity. What is the objective test to see if a wine critic is any good at their job?
I don't know, it's probably all subjective.
No, there's a way to tell. This is the way you test whether a taster or, like, say, a critic knows what they're doing. So what you do is you create 10 random wine samples, 10 different wines, okay? And then you put an 11th wine that is identical to one of the 10 wines, okay? If the person can tell which two are the same, then they are good. They're really able to tell the difference, right? They can taste the subtleties and they're able to figure out the difference. If they can't tell, then they don't know what they're talking about. Or you can, and then you can see how good the wine taster is. If it's a sample of 2 wines and you add a 3rd wine and the 3rd wine is either one or the other, then they have, let's say, basic ability, right? They can tell the difference between 2 different wines. If they can tell the difference between 3 basic wines, they're better. If they can tell the difference between 100 different wines, then they are like almost godlike, right? They have such sensitivity and they can distinguish between 100 different wines, then they are really, really good. It's kind of like an accent. If you can detect the difference between like different accents, then you must be more skilled at this particular language, right? Other people, they're like, this all sounds the same. It all sounds like when I listen to Japanese, it all sounds the same. But when my wife listens to Japanese, she can tell the difference between different cities. Indonesian, if I listen to Indonesian, it probably all sounds the same. But when Kiky listens to Indonesian, she could probably tell the difference between somebody from Jakarta, Bandung, Bali, Sumatra, whatever, right? So that's how you're able to tell if a person is actually an expert. Can they actually distinguish the subtleties between this and that? Do they evaluate correctly? Okay? So that is, why am I telling HR that? This is how you tell if an expert is a real expert, right? And it's a simple test again. Can you tell me the difference between this and a third situation? If they can, then they're probably an expert, right? If they can't, then they're probably just talking out of their ass. So, okay, that was a quick trick. I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, tricks aside, I think, we're out of time. Too bad. So I'll have to talk about this tomorrow at All Hands, but I have a vision statement for the company and I wanted to share that with you guys tomorrow. So we'll see you at the All Hands and we'll discuss more about that. Quick one, feedback. Me, yes, Ara.
Apa ya? No feedback lah so far.
No feedback from me? Come on, be mean. Be like expect the best From me, make me Steve Jobs. What's the difference between Jing and
I
Steve
have a
Jobs?
question. I have a question. Did you read the cards before you
I did
change
not.
it?
I did not. No, that was my bad diligence. I did not read
Yeah.
the books. Yeah.
That's the feedback. from them.
Thank you.
Because it's obvious, actually, since I applied myself, right?
Yeah.
I can see the difference for myself if I read and I didn't read. So
Very good. Very good.
maybe helpful for you, yeah.
I apologize. I should have done that today. Just yeah. Okay. Like no excuses. I'll do that right now so that I won't be tricked on the next time. Right. Okay. Manage my time well. Kiky, over to me. Any feedback from me? What's the difference between Jing and Steve Jobs?
Okay. Yeah, I do agree with Ara, but in terms of reading cards, but fortunately, you asking follow-up questions very neat,
Mhm.
one by one, so that makes you a great chairperson for today.
Thank you.
That's it from my side.
Nothing. Any nourishing feedback? That was very nourishing in a positive way. Anything that I should know? Did I use too much did I have executive presence? Any other things to think about?
Mm, no, I
Okay.
think.
The reason why I'm asking this is not about vanity. The reason is to never settle, right? When we get good at something, we shouldn't say, okay, we're done. This is all there is to it, right? You should always think about, well, what is it that we could do better? This is why we have leadership feedback. It's to actually hold ourselves accountable to more things now. And this is how you build great leaders. We have safe environments where people can share, can speak frankly, without being afraid of hurting somebody's feelings, without somebody saying like you're discriminating against me, you're making me feel bad. So that it's safe. It's just purely for improving each other, and think about it, right? Think about what you would expect, let's say, from yourself as a leader. Think about it from what you would expect other people to be as a leader. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Ending on time is another one thing. Thank you very much for coming in today, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Okay, bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.